Welcome back to the channel. We are in the office today. It's actually Wednesday the 24th, and I've been working on some computer stuff all week, and just doing some miscellaneous stuff, not very exciting for videoing, but today we might go work down in the barn and maybe get the combine finished up, some stuff like that. But I figured I would show you what all I'm working on here in the office. So not something you guys get to see very often, but I'm going through right now and making my prescription maps for corn planting. So this is one of the fields we own. We're going to select a couple years worth of corn yield data. So we're going to select 2022 corn and 2019 corn. As you can see, we go back all the way to 2013. I like using the corn data for the corn prescription, so I'll explain a little bit of what that's going to do here in a little bit. So you can see our soil map. I'm going to put that in here. Green showing the more productive dirt in the lower areas, and then the medium showing maybe a little bit less productive, and then the red is going to be like the hilltops and stuff like that. So we're going to go down here and pull an elevation map. So I like to pull the most recent elevation map. We'll do that, and then we'll go up here and hit continue. So that brings us to here, and I'm going to use all of these equally. I could bring down the soil types if I wanted, if I didn't want that to weigh into the map as much. We're going to hit generate, and I'm on farm server, which is a Bex I don't know, website, whatever you want to call that, but it works pretty good. If you're buying Bex, you can have this and do whatever you want with it. It has a lot of different things you can do. Seed plans I've planned out, so I've already went through and planned out what hybrids are going with what fields. I've got all the field boundaries on here, as you can see. Everything like that. A whole bunch of stuff that you can do with this, but I'm just in the zones in RX right now. So what this is showing is different populations that I'm going to be planting corn at. So most likely this is a new variety that's actually going here, a new hybrid. So I've got to look in the book and see what we're going to be looking like for population here. But first we need to go through and pick out all of these little bitty unnecessary zones. So I'm going to go through and clean this up a little bit. All right, I have finished that. This one didn't need much cleaning up, but anyways, we back in here and we're going to go to corn. We want corn. Operation is planting, and then our units is seeds per acre. So in the very high zones, we need to find in the book here. All right, so this is a new hybrid. For me at least, I think it's been out maybe a year or something. But anyways, 6485. So we're going to look at what kind of population we want. Medium flex on the ear, so the ear is going to flex a little bit, so we can bring down the population a little bit. So we're showing a minimum of 30,000, and up in the high we're showing a maximum of 36,000, which I don't really ever get into the high because our soils just don't match up to what the meaning of high is. So I like to stay in the low to medium area, so no higher than 34,000 and no lower than 30,000. So we'll go to the very high. As you can see, that's going to be our highest population, the good soils along the ditch and everything like that. So we're going to type in 34,000, and in the high zones we're going to call those 33,000, and the mediums, call that 32, low 31, and then the very low will be 30. So pretty simple the way that I do it. You could get into it a lot more, getting it more precise and everything, but in my opinion, that's going to be good enough for what it's for. So I type in 6485 because that's the hybrid that I'm planning on planting here. Now, whether that ends up happening or not, I don't know, but this one is more likely because it is a new hybrid, and this is going to be conventional till because it is getting sludge on it, so it's going to have all the nitrogen and fertilizer that it could ever need, and it's going to be conventional till, so if we have a little bit of trouble with emergence, that's going to help us out. So we got 45 units here, so that's going to be exactly a box of corn, so that should work out great for planting this new hybrid. So we're going to hit finish, and that's going to finish it up. All right, Jacob's been helping me all day, and I think we've got this combine finished up. So we washed all the shields. You can see those sitting back there against the back wall. We got all of those washed. There's like, golly, there's got to be 50 of them. And then we got the ones washed that were off the 9870. So I think I've got this thing about as good as I can get it. It's not perfect, but you're never going to get it perfect after it runs in the field after the factory. So it's good enough that I feel comfortable parking it here in the corner and being done with it. Need to get the cab cleaned out and get the windows washed after it dries off inside and out. I'm not putting the shields back on it because Ray will come, the John Deere tech, he'll be here to inspect these hopefully this winter. He can get those inspected and then he'll work on them, whatever needs to be done. So I'm just going to leave the shields off because that's a lot less labor that has to be done. There's no sense putting those back on just to take them back off again. So I think this thing's pretty good. I'm going to head home. I'm like soaking wet. I had my wash gear on, but there's a certain point where you get so wet that it just soaks through it. So I'm wet, but it is like 50 degrees outside, so has been all day. So it's been pretty nice in here. You can see it's a little bit fogged up, but we had like one heater running a little bit every once in a while just to take the chill off. But anyways, I'm gonna get headed home, and I think we're gonna come back tomorrow and start on some other projects. All right, it's Thursday morning. Came back down here. Jacob, he was feeling kind of sick today. He was running a fever, so he's not here, but I'm working around. I thought I was done with the combine last night, and then I started looking around it this morning, and I was like, there's a few places where I'd washed down that some little bit of stuff had kind of fallen down. So I went around with the hose. I had to bring the hose in here anyways to clean the floor up here, but I sprayed over everything again, sprayed the whole thing down, so everything should be pretty good. Like I said, it's not perfect, but it's good enough. I'm happy with it. So I think the plan is I'm going to go grab some lunch real quick, and then when I get back, this thing will be dripped off mostly. I'm gonna bring the Genie over that way, get it out of the way, and then pull the combine up into its spot sort of, and clean this floor up because there's all kinds of corn and water and nastiness. So I'm gonna clean that up and then back the combine back here. I'm going to go ahead and pull the concaves out of it. The concaves are right here. These are the concaves here, these bars. These are getting replaced because they're worn out. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull those out, and I'm doing that so that way I can, if there's anything, I can go ahead and wash that out too. And then I'm gonna drill a couple holes because see how this is holding water? I've got to drill a couple holes across there to get that to drain out because I don't want that holding water. and I want to get that all clean. So we're gonna do that after we get back from lunch. We're just gotta pull these bolts out here, and it should fall right out of there basically. And then I have to pull them up out of there, and it's not very light, but anyway, so after that gets done, I think I'm going to get the combine put into its spot, and then we're gonna grab the 8430 that's hooked onto the applicator and pull it out here in the middle and work on that, because some of the bearings need to be tightened up and looked at, and then I've got some shanks that are basically worn out, so I'm gonna pull that out here in the middle and get it unfolded, and then I'll have room to get my truck inside and everything like that. I think Dad might come down here this afternoon, so we could end up trying to hang some lights up here. It needs to be done because it is kind of dark in here. It's not too bad, but we definitely need some more lights to be working around in here. All right, I got back from lunch and I've got a little bit of a distraction now. I went to move the Genie and the tire was completely flattened off the rim. So as you can see, it took more than just air to get it going. But this is such a heavy duty tire that it's like so hard to get set. It was sitting and leaking around the bead. I don't know how much this is supposed to have. There's 25. Let's see what the other one's got. Anyways, I think I've got it back on there now so we can get this out of the way. All right, let's let this thing down off the jack. Okay. Wow, there's a lot of slop in those pins. Anyways, get this jack pulled out of here. Oh, this is the one that doesn't go down. Oh, shoot. I have to get this out of here, and then we'll finally get this thing moved out of the way. All right, I got everything piled up over the drains. Overall not. I mean, there's a good bit of material there, but I did the first day of washing outside over there. So most of the crap fell off over there, but overall not too bad. I did pretty good with the air compressor. Spent a day between both combines with the air compressor, so that really helped with getting the most of that material off. But get this scooped up, and then I'll use the hose and wash this all down. All right, we've gotten everything rearranged, and it's starting to rain a good bit, so I'm thinking I should have moved stuff around this morning, but it's all right. I'm gonna let this door down a little bit. That'll be good. Anyways, I'm gonna get this light drug over here and we'll start working on taking these concaves out. All right, well, first thing I can say is it's a good thing that I still have the hose out, because I've found more dirt. Hang on, let me get up. Oh my. There's some light. All right, anyways, got the bolts pulled out. These actually fell down. So I don't really want this one to fall down because it's gonna take my hand with it. So that's why I have this supply bar to keep it up while I do this. So I need like 4 different hands here, so we'll see how this goes. All right, I got one of them out. And one thing I can assure you of is they have not gotten any lighter. So got 3 here, so pull out this front one next. It's a little bit special in the way that it works, because there's a little, you can see where it's got this piece bolted on the front of it, where it comes in from the cone there. This is the rotor. You can see here, I can turn it, I have it in neutral. These are called your rasp bars, if I say that right. But anyways, that's what is beating the corn or soybeans against these here grates, which are called the concaves. It's pushing it and grinding it against it which in turn is taking the grain out, and it falls into these here augers, and it sends it back. So this is all grain and small leaves that are falling through here, and then it falls onto this. This is your pre-cleaner, and that is absolute junk. It needs to be removed. Well, it's not actually this pre-cleaner that needs to be removed, but it's the one back a little bit farther that way. But anyways, it's kind of how this area works. So anything that comes through there that doesn't fall down into there is going to come to the separating grates. And I don't know how well you can see this. There, that's better. These are your separating grates. So this is going to separate out any grain that's still left in there. So you can see this has a little bit of a different point on it. Separating points, I don't know what you technically call those, but that'll fall through there. That is still going to end up back there in the sieve. So, and it looks like we have more stuff to clean here as well. So we'll have to get on that. But overall, it's not looking too dirty. I mean, I've seen dirtier and I've seen cleaner. There's a bunch of dirt in there. Oh my gosh. You can't ever get it perfect. Cannot get it perfect. All right, we got them pulled out, and we gotta wash some more dirt down. I found a whole clump up in there. But anyways, we got those out, so that's one thing more done. We're getting new ones for next year, or at least we're planning on it, because these are just not doing very good because they're like worn out. So we're planning on getting new ones, so I want to go ahead and pull that out while I was sitting here in the wash area, so we can get that done and move on to the next project. Although I don't know if I'm going to be able to move on the next project because I can't get equipment moved around. I need to get that tractor turned around because it's leaking hydraulic oil like crazy, because there's a little O-ring that is that is bad. So there's a whole puddle of oil on the other side, so it's not hooked up to the planter. I just need to get it outside, turned around, and pulled back in here, and then get the sprayer back in, so that way if we end up having to take those wheels off the other side, we can. We'll just have to see how that goes, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen today, because I really don't want to bring this stuff out in the rain, because it's actually pretty clean. So anyways, we'll get this project here with the combine finished up. All right, getting the cab cleaned out. Everything's pretty clean. Got the windows washed. I forgot to clean the windows before I did the floor, so I had to take my shoes off. But anyways, I've got to clean this window, and then I'm not going to do the outside ones yet because they're not even dry. So we'll do those after they get dried up, because it'll just make a mess. It stopped raining now, so I might switch this tractor and the sprayer around maybe. But anyways, it's like 6:30, so I'm probably gonna go home pretty soon. All right, we got the combine parked in its semi-permanent resting spot. It'll sit there until it gets inspected and gets worked on. So those are back out of the way now, so we've got our workspace here. So we'll be able to get some of that stuff moved tomorrow. I went to move this tonight, and well, the tractor is dead as usual. So this thing has a significant draw on it somewhere, and I did not have the disconnect off because I think I had a trickle charger on it, just charging it real slow. And in order to hook on that starter, you have to have the disconnect on. So I think somebody maybe took that off there, or maybe I took it off there and forgot to turn the disconnect off. So this thing has a draw on it somewhere where it is drawing down the battery. I've unplugged all the monitors inside. I've unplugged, the planter's not even hooked up. So it's something on this tractor. And I would venture to say that it's the alternator, due to the fact that this thing is under a ginormous electrical load, because it is running a 24-row electric drive planter. Granted, there isn't an alternator on the planter, hydraulic drive. That's fixing to get changed though. But anyways, that could be what our draw is our alternator's bad or getting bad. So anyways, got the combine parked in here, and all the shields laid across the back wall here for both of them. This one has way more shields than the other one. That also could be that I take a lot more off of this one than I do the other one. But anyways, there's a lot of them. But there's no sense in putting them on because they'll just get taken right back off whenever we get it inspected. So I'm going to let that slowly charge overnight and come back in the morning and see what we got. All right, Friday, down here again. Actually, getting ready to move this applicator out. Got the 93 and the spreader truck going. I had to replace the disconnect switch on the spreader truck. We're gonna pull this out, get it in the main section here. Actually, I should move this Genie first. I'm just gonna park it right here for now. We've got to actually take the duals off of the 8335. So I let that charge overnight, and it's charged up, and we got it moved over here in the main section. So me and Dad put the rest of our trim around the big door and the garage doors. They never did it when they finished the barn, so we went and got some the other day, got it custom folded or whatever you want to call it, bent, and we just got done putting that up, so that sealed up the boards that were shown on the outside. So anyways, we got to pull the duals off of this tomorrow, and then there's an O-ring in there that's got to be replaced. So I'm gonna get this Genie out of the way, get that applicator pulled in, and get everything put back inside. Getting the duals pulled off. All right, we got the duals off, and we got to get to the line. The line is down in there. It's the one that goes, has those two bolts, comes this way and comes this way. So we don't have the seal yet, so we got to wait on that. We'll probably wait till next week and then get this torn apart because we don't want it sitting apart anyways. So we're going to change the filters, and we should be able to get to that if we can take those two bolts out, shove it down a little bit, and then pull it out, because there's not anything that attaches it on this side. It just sticks in with an O-ring, so that's what's bad. All right, well, yesterday, as you saw, we pulled those duals off the 8335. We're not going to tear that apart yet because we want to make sure we got the parts first and everything. So we went and tore apart the planter, the rest of that. And here's the remnants of some limestone rock ledges. As you can see, that's not really, that's supposed to be straight, but anyways, the whole blade broke off, and so I gotta get that torn apart tomorrow. We gotta get a whole new row unit. So anyways, I was working on tearing that apart, and so anyways, next week we'll get to working again, probably working on the side dress bar. And we got to replace all the coulters. We got to get those in, and we got to replace a couple shanks and tighten up some bearings. We got to work on that. So hopefully we'll get into that next week. But anyways, thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, leave me a comment down below. Share this video with a friend, and we'll see you next week.